Greetings, wonderful students. This is Miss Naylor. I'm going to take you through a couple of things I think you should, or that you should do when you're completing these videos, and then we're going to get started learning period 1, the summer homework. So exciting. So a couple of norms when you're working on these videos. The first thing that you should always do is either take notes from the slides in your notebook or print out the PowerPoint. When you print it out, make sure that you print it out in so that the slides are small. Otherwise, it'll print it out. Don't print them out full screen. Some people like this, or actually, it's a Google Slides. Some people prefer this because it has the pictures. So you should get off of social media while you should treat this just like a lecture. So you're not on social media, and a lecture where you're paying attention, I should say. You're not on social media. You're not in the middle of doing other things. You're not multitasking. Like, this is the classroom. Your computer, your phone is the classroom. So you treat it like that. And if you lose focus, take a break. That's the best thing about this, is that you can do it on your own. You can do these lectures on your own time. So without further ado, get out your pen or a pencil and start paying attention. So we're going to be looking at Unit 1, and this is Early Civilizations, and we're going to be looking at comparing early societies. On the map is highlighted different areas that had early civilizations. So you see Latin or South America, Meso and South America, parts of Africa, which we won't be talking about today, in West Africa. And then you've got East Africa with Egypt and Nubia, Mesopotamia, which is really our big focus in this class, the Indus River Valley, we don't really talk about this one, and then China. So those are the areas we're basically going to be talking about 4 or 5. So before we get into that, we need to go over the Paleolithic era. And there are a couple things that you need, like literally a couple of things that you need to know about the Paleolithic era. It's very short. So the first thing that you need to know is that the origin of Homo sapiens sapiens is Africa, and humans start out in Africa and then start moving out of Africa and around Africa 100,000 years ago. In anthropology, you learn about how there were different species that were human-like, but our specific species of human moves out of Africa about 100,000 years ago. And as humans were, so as you can see, firstly, as humans were migrating, they migrated to all kinds of different climates and different environments. And so as they went along, they had to adapt to their environment, number one, but they also adapted their environment. So one way they adapt to their environment is, this is really simple, but by making tools out of stone, and by using clothing or shelter that was already there, such as this cave right over here. And one way that they adapt their environment is by changing it through things like fire. So you're taking an environment and you're making it warmer, essentially. So those were 2 things that these people did. Now, when we talk about the people from this time period, we typically classify them as hunter-gatherers. These are not, wandering peoples. They're following seasons and food, but there's no domestication here. So they're not following cattle. They're following like herds of buffalo. They're not their own domesticated animals. These people were very expressive, as we'll be looking at in the class. This is from Lascaux, a group of caves in France, and these images are super old. And then these are from Argentina, or Latin America, excuse me. So, yeah, people express themselves even in this early time. So we're going to stop there. That's period 1, and we'll move on in the next video to period 2.